In the late 1980s, a struggling comedian in his late 20s was living out of a 1976 Ford Tempo, showering at gas stations and public swimming pools, surviving on about $50 a week. He had already flunked out of college, been fired from a string of jobs, and tried his hand at boxing, carpet cleaning, and selling insurance. Nothing had worked. He had one thing left that he refused to let go of, a stubborn, almost irrational belief that he was supposed to be on television. 3 years of homelessness later, that belief started to pay off. Today, he's a 5-time Emmy winner, the host of one of the longest-running game shows in American history, the anchor of a nationally syndicated morning radio show, a best-selling author, and the founder of a media empire worth an estimated $200 million. His name is Broderick Stephen Harvey. Most of the world just calls him Steve. He was born on January 17, 1957, in Welch, West Virginia, the youngest of 5 children born to Jesse Harvey, a coal miner, and Eloise Harvey. His full name, Broderick Stephen, was actually a tribute. His parents named him after Broderick Crawford, the actor from the television series Highway Patrol, a small detail that turned out to be strangely prophetic for a man who would spend his entire adult life in front of cameras. While he was still young, the family relocated to Cleveland, Ohio, settling on East 112th Street, a block the city would later rename Steve Harvey Way in his honor. School was not kind to him. Harvey struggled with a stutter as a child, and in one now famous story he's told repeatedly over the years, a grade school teacher publicly mocked him in front of the entire class after he wrote in an assignment that he wanted to grow up to be a television star. She called his parents in to report his attitude. His mother was upset. His father wasn't. Jesse Harvey told his son to put that assignment paper in a drawer and read it every morning and every night, so he'd never forget what he wanted. Steve Harvey has cited that single piece of advice for the rest of his life as the moment that set the direction for everything that came after. It took a long time to get there. Harvey attended both Kent State University and West Virginia University, but never finished a degree, a decision he's since said he genuinely regrets. Without a diploma and without a clear plan, he cycled through an unusually wide range of jobs in his 20s: professional boxer, auto worker, insurance salesman, carpet cleaner, mail carrier, none of which stuck, and none of which pointed toward the career that would eventually define him. That career began almost by accident, on a dare. On October 8, 1985, a woman he knew challenged him to try stand-up comedy. He showed up at Hilarity's Comedy Club in Cleveland and got on stage for the first time in his life. He has said the moment changed the entire trajectory of everything that followed. It did not, however, pay the bills. For the next several years, Harvey worked the club circuit while his finances collapsed around him. By the late 1980s, he was homeless, sleeping in his car when a gig didn't come with a hotel room, showering wherever he could find running water. 2 people, Rich and Becky Liss, helped keep him afloat during this stretch, extending him a carpet cleaning contract and credit at a travel agency just to help him survive between shows. It was, by his own account, roughly 3 years of sleeping in a Ford Tempo before anything resembling stability returned. The turning point came in 1990, when Harvey became a finalist in the 2nd annual Johnny Walker National Comedy Search. It was enough exposure to get him noticed, and in 1993 he landed the role that made him a national name. Host of its Showtime at the Apollo, the variety show filmed at Harlem's legendary Apollo Theater. He held that job for 7 years, becoming one of the most recognizable comedic voices on black television during the 1990s. While hosting Showtime at the Apollo, Harvey was simultaneously building one of the defining moments of his stand-up career. In 1997, he joined comedians Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, and Bernie Mac for the Kings of Comedy Tour, a stand-up showcase that would go on to become the highest-grossing comedy tour in American history at that point. Spike Lee filmed the tour and released it in 2000 as the original Kings of Comedy, a concert film that both introduced Harvey to a much wider mainstream audience and cemented his reputation as one of the sharpest voices in black stand-up comedy of his generation. Television stardom followed almost immediately. From 1996 to 2002, Harvey starred in The Steve Harvey Show on the WB, playing a former musician turned high school teacher, a sitcom that ran for 6 seasons and became one of the network's signature black-led comedies of the era. He went on to appear in a string of early 2000s films, including The Fighting Temptations, Johnson Family Vacation, and Racing Stripes, expanding his reach from stand-up and television into mainstream film. In the mid-2000s, Harvey pivoted into a medium that would end up becoming just as central to his brand as anything on television: radio. He launched the Steve Harvey Morning Show, a nationally syndicated program that grew into one of the most listened-to radio shows in the country, eventually earning him a Radio and Records Syndicated Personality of the Year award in 2007 and multiple Marconi Awards over the years that followed. He also became, somewhat unexpectedly, one of the more influential relationship authors in America. In 2009, Harvey published Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, a relationship advice book built around the premise of giving women a man's honest, unfiltered perspective on dating. It became a #1 New York Times bestseller and was adapted into 2 feature films, Think Like a Man and its sequel, which together grossed more than $180 million at the box office, with Harvey receiving producer credits and back-end financial participation on both. He followed it with Straight Talk, No Chaser in 2010, and Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success in 2014, further building out a publishing career that ran in parallel with everything else he was doing. In 2010, Harvey took over as host of Family Feud, a decision that would end up defining the next era of his public identity more than anything before it. His loud, improvisational, often barely composed reactions to contestants' answers turned a decades-old game show format into a viral, meme-generating phenomenon, particularly once short highlight clips began circulating widely on early social media and YouTube. Under Harvey, Family Feud experienced a genuine ratings renaissance, and he went on to host its celebrity spin-off, Celebrity Family Feud, as well. He also took on the hosting role for the Miss Universe pageant beginning in 2015, a role that produced, almost immediately, one of the most infamous live television mistakes of the decade. At the end of the 2015 competition, Harvey read the winner's card incorrectly and crowned Miss Colombia, Ariadna Gutierrez, as the winner. Only after the confused, visibly emotional celebration had already begun did Harvey return to the stage to correct the error live on air, announcing that the actual winner was Miss Philippines, Pia Wurtzbach. "I have to apologize," he told the audience. "This is exactly what's on the card. I will take responsibility for this. It was my mistake." He did, publicly, immediately, without deflecting blame onto the production. The moment was instantly and permanently immortalized in internet meme culture, but in an unusual twist, it didn't damage his career. If anything, the grace with which he owned the mistake became part of his public reputation. He and Gutierrez went on to become genuine friends. In a strange echo 4 years later, at the 2019 competition, Harvey appeared to make a second on-air mix-up involving the national costume segment, loudly blaming the teleprompter. "Y'all got to quit doing this to me." Though Miss Universe organizers later confirmed no actual winner had been misannounced that time. Behind the public persona, Harvey's personal life has been considerably more complicated than the polished advice book image might suggest. He has been married 3 times. His first marriage, to Marcia Harvey, began in 1981, while he was still working as an insurance salesman trying to break into comedy on the side. The marriage produced 3 children, twin daughters Brandy and Carly, and a son, Broderick Jr., before ending in divorce in 1994, worn down in part by the long stretches on the road his comedy career demanded. His second marriage, to Mary Shackelford, began in 1996 and produced a son, Winton, before ending in a considerably messy divorce in 2005, one that spilled into years of subsequent legal disputes, including a 2011 court admonishment against Shackelford for what a judge found to be false claims about being left financially destitute, and a later 2017 lawsuit in which she accused Harvey of emotional distress, allegations his attorneys called meritless and denied outright. Harvey first met Marjorie Bridges at a comedy club in Memphis in the late 1980s, while he was still married to his first wife. By his own retelling, his opening line to her was direct. He didn't know who she was, but he was going to marry her one day. It didn't happen right away. The two didn't reconnect romantically until 2005, after both of Harvey's earlier marriages and several of Marjorie's own relationships had ended, reportedly with the help of Harvey's bodyguard, who told him the only time he'd ever seen him truly happy was around her. They married in 2007. It's a marriage that has weathered its own share of public scrutiny. Persistent tabloid rumors over the years have alleged infidelity and a looming multi-million-dollar divorce, claims both Steve and Marjorie have firmly and repeatedly denied, including as recently as 2026. Whatever the tabloid churn, the marriage has now lasted nearly 2 decades, making it by a wide margin the most durable of Harvey's 3 unions. Harvey legally adopted Marjorie's 3 children from her own previous marriages, including her daughter Lori Harvey, who has since become a prominent model and public figure in her own right. Professionally, the last decade has been less about any single hit show and more about consolidation. In 2017, Harvey formalized his various media and business interests under a single umbrella, Steve Harvey Global, overseeing his continuing hosting work on Family Feud and Celebrity Family Feud, his long-running morning radio show, additional television projects including the arbitration series Judge Steve Harvey and the family-friendly talent showcase Little Big Shots, a menswear licensing line called H by Steve Harvey, a production company, and a professional development platform. By 2026, industry estimates placed his net worth at roughly $200 million, with his combined annual income from hosting, radio, licensing, and his broader business ventures estimated at over $45 million a year, an extraordinary financial outcome for a man who, for decades earlier, had been sleeping in a Ford Tempo and living on $50 a week. What makes Steve Harvey's story genuinely distinct from a lot of celebrity biographies isn't really any single achievement. It's the sheer duration and repetition of both the setbacks and the recoveries. 2 failed marriages before finding one that stuck. Years of homelessness before a single comedy competition placement changed his trajectory. A live, humiliating, globally broadcast mistake in front of millions of people that could have ended a lesser career, absorbed instead through immediate public accountability and somehow turned into part of his brand rather than the end of it. A childhood stutter and a teacher's public mockery turned, decades later, into a career built entirely on talking for a living. If you enjoyed this content, please share and subscribe.